Blake. It is 2 in the morning. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow, there's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just gonna send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not gonna be more than a few minutes. But I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank, and I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. The three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy and just a force, all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that, because it's really good, and it's gonna make the movie sing like you said, and I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you. I'm excited to be in your sphere and your presence, and for us to share creative juices together, although that sounds terrible. I think, and you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully. I mean, here we are talking like this, me into my phone at 2 in the morning, but largely via text and voice note. And that, I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face, and I feel like that's where I excel. And definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges, because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening. And all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together. And I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there. It has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met, and yeah, I think it does come from the both of us being so fucking hardworking and having a vision and not settling. And I'm excited to have a creative partner in that with you. And it's just really exciting. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say. And there's one thing that I do need to say, which is, I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people were that you worked with. It just me off. Those heads that I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in, and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be, or will be, and hopefully it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want. And so there's been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file. I am totally fine with that. The only reason I didn't send it today was because I was trying to implement and add your notes into my working draft, which is already like I'm all over that draft right now. So there's a whole bunch of new stars that are going to be collated pages, and I just haven't had a chance to send it to you. But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you, and I'm sorry that has happened to you before, and I hope after this experience there will be a new. I don't know. I hope it'll be healing in some way, because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial, just like you, and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found no more, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's going to be special. And you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm going to stop rambling because, Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So, me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 a.m. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done cutting myself. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done cutting myself off. Good night.
Now, I don't know about you, but I listened to the entirety of that 6-minute and 50-second voice note that Justin Baldoni sent Blake Lively after they had that infamous meeting at her and Ryan's penthouse pertaining to the scene that Blake wrote or rewrites. He sounds so genuine in that voice note at the beginning of it. I didn't want to play it because it's almost 7 minutes. It's really long, but that's the end of it, and he signs off. Very lovingly, even saying, give my best to Ryan. After he was berated, allegedly, I will use the word allegedly because, after he was berated, that is a real man. Oh, and one last thing I wanted to address. Now, this happened about a month ago, but it came across my desk just today. It's a story that Christina Ricci shared via Instagram. By the way, I love Christina Ricci. She shared this pertaining to Blake Lively. Read Blake Lively, and I've heard, to be honest, misogyny exploits the jealousy women feel for each other, specifically when it comes to beautiful women and girls. The fact that, quote, mean girls are always beautiful is no coincidence. The ease in which women are manipulated into hating each other, even feminist women, is something no one wants to talk about. This is yet another reminder to question our willingness to burn any woman. That includes beautiful, successful women who dare to have a voice. Okay? Those words sound vaguely familiar to what Miss Blake Lively wrote pertaining to Beyonce when she went to her Renaissance premiere a couple years back, and about women uplifting women, about how the business just pits women against each other. Now, I say all that to say, Leighton Meester is extremely beautiful and successful, and she's not been labeled a mean girl. Zendaya is extremely beautiful and successful, and she's not been labeled a mean girl. Elizabeth Olsen's extremely beautiful and successful, and she's not been labeled a mean girl and or difficult to work with either. So no, we are not blindly, quote-unquote, burning Blake Lively's career for no reason at all. The proof is in her long track record of not being nice, and how you treat people who are below you, which in this case are reporters, crew members, or even your director. What's going on with Blake Lively reminds me of a very, very important line from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the novel. It wasn't in the film. It's something that Sirius says to Ron. You want to know what a man's like? Take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equal. I'm just saying.
The Justin Baldoni voice memo that TMZ just leaked. Oh my God. This voice memo is riddled with nonviolent communication, empathy, trauma speak, therapy speak. This is a masterclass in nonviolent communication of how to address someone who is upset with you and validate their feelings. So the voice memo that he sent her at 2 a.m. was in response to her not feeling great that he didn't praise her enough for her work on the script. Repeat, she was upset, said it didn't feel great that she was only praised for her enthusiasm and not praised for her body of work, because Taylor and Ryan wrote off on it and they're creative geniuses, so they should know. And he did not praise her enough or validate her enough. So he in turn sends this very heartfelt, very in touch with his feelings, emotions, very validating and owning 100%. He didn't say, I'm sorry you feel that way. He said, as a master, I am so heartbroken to hear that I made you feel that way. He said, I made you feel that way. That was never my intent. I would never want to make you feel that way. You are so massively talented. He went on and on and on and on and on. But he owned every piece of what he did wrong in that, which I don't think he did anything wrong. He just didn't validate her enough or tell her that she was pretty. You're a pretty writer. You're a really good writer. Like, she was a puppy. The voice memo is then talking about and validating her feelings and experiences from the past. So number one, I have a trauma certification. I have a million life coaching certifications. When someone is upset, you validate their experience. And he validated her past experience and validated her feelings on how she felt based on his reaction. So not only did he validate for the mistakes of others, he validated for his own mistake and said, that must feel awful to feel that way. I cannot imagine. I am so sorry that I made you feel that way by not praising you enough, which I don't think he needed to apologize for not giving her enough praise, but he did. The problem is he's too nice. Justin Baldoni is too nice, and he's so in touch with his feelings. He's like, I love to feel connected with you. I love our chemistry together. I think Ryan heard these voice memos and was like, oh, he's there for my wife emotionally? I'm not that. This poor girl has probably not ever heard that her feelings matter in her entire life. So Justin is coming from this self-help, men that are doing the work, understanding and unlearning trauma and biases, and it is riddled with self-help speak and trauma therapy speak in a masterful way, not as a manipulation, but as clearly evidence that Justin is doing the work. Like, he's in these spiritual circles. He is in the toxic masculinity is bad, I'm bad. Like, you can tell he's probably done so much self-shaming about men being bad. It was just insane to me. He above was praising her in this voice memo. It was 6 minutes long, 6.5 minutes long, telling her how awesome she is. Not in a sexual way. That was not a sexual thing. But Ryan probably heard it and thought, oh, he's trying to hit on my wife by getting in touch with her feelings. He's making moves on my wife because he cares about her emotions. Okay. I don't think Ryan typically views this as women and men, as it normal for women and men to have close friendships. He probably interpreted this as Justin hitting on or making moves on his wife. And Justin probably comes from a world where men and women are allowed to be close, intimate friends and nothing more. I believe that Ryan, probably, I'm assuming, making assumptions, is a theory, guys, don't at me, that Ryan is in a world where all of his relationships with the opposite sex are superficial or sexual. Not in between. There's no like friendships. Like true vulnerability, authentic friendships, because it's all very business, or it's all just transactional, or it's all just surface level stuff. And I'm sure they has amazing, great female friendships, but it's probably very surface level. So Justin is clearly someone that likes to go deep into the work, and I don't think that Blake and Ryan are probably used to that. So go listen. Did you see the TMZ video? Let me know below.
Everything aside in this case, listening to Justin Baldoni's voice message and seeing the reactions, I feel a little sad because there seem to be a lot of women who have never heard intentional nonviolent communication. So when they hear it, they automatically think it's like gaslighting or conniving or covert narcissism, when in my reality, it's intentional communication. It's valuing the other person's emotions. It's actually centering themselves in the language so they're not attacking the other person. It's creating connection by making jokes, like starting out saying, I hope this doesn't wake you up. So he's being considerate. And when he mentions that she's maybe feeding, breastfeeding is not. She also set the precedent and the expectations of their communication when she brought up the suppositories. What I heard was him actually acknowledging her load as a woman. But it's fascinating how we hear things from our unique perspectives and experiences in the world. It is. And I truly hope more women get to experience healthy men, healthy and emotionally intelligent and intentional communication henceforth.
Hot take because I'm late for work. Justin Baldoni to Leroni just released a 6.5, almost 7-minute voice note to Blake Lively. I listened to it last night. I highly encourage you to listen to the whole thing if you haven't already. If you already have, there are some polarizing views on this. His team released, and obviously they don't think he has anything to hide, which is good. And I don't think he really has anything to hide either. I really think he's trying to placate her and really trying to get them on the right page. But at the same time, there are certain things that I did find a little yucky about it. There was a comment he made about creative juices. There was a comment about, her boob or being out while she was breastfeeding. Nothing too crazy, but the craziest thing I feel like that's getting a lot of attention is his tone. So, his tone is a little, bedroomy. I don't know if that's just his style of talking. It might very well be, but I don't know. You take a listen, see what you think. I really honestly feel like it's very polarizing, so it's hard to really tell.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 a.m.
That's the voicemail that everyone's talking about right now, which has been released to TMZ. I don't understand all this leaking. I think that's a way to try and get public opinion on their side. It happens in most of these so-called Darvo tactics, which I think is a bit disingenuous. But I'm hearing two sides here, and I understand both sides also. I'm hearing, oh my God, he just sounds so amazing. He's so caring. He's so wonderful. He's, he obviously cares about her and the project, etc., etc., which is fine. There are some, I don't know, love bombing actions I'm hearing here, language I'm hearing here. And he's trying to be professional. He's obviously trying to deal with something that has happened, which is the text message that he received also late at night. So the timing doesn't bother me at all, because I believe that, they have a relationship over this time. I mean, when you're filming in that kind of environment, everything becomes quite intense. So if she's wanting to have more of a say when it comes to production and scenes and stuff like that, then it's normal for production to be speaking till late at night. That's just, part of how these productions work. I'm also, some people are saying, oh my God, he's obviously in love with her or she's in love with him. I'm like, I don't know where that's coming from. I think that's really, I think that's a terrible narrative here. And I don't want to go there, because I just think it's disgusting to say things like that because you don't like the woman. And that's obviously where that's coming from, that whole narrative. I'm also hearing a more creepier side. I mean, he's Mr. Nice Guy. He's obviously Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Compassionate, that people love, and that tone of his voice. I don't know, but I'm getting quite a creepy side of it, because Mr. Nice Guy is also someone who can manipulate, can love bomb, can do many things if they wish to. Now, I believe Blake in that she felt and had a right to feel how she felt when it comes to the harassment claims. Whether the lines were blurred, we don't know, and that's all going to be dealt in court. So she had a right to feel how she felt. He also has to deal with the production, where he has to obviously move it along, and it seems like he's trying to really pacify her here. A lot of people don't like Blake because of the way she speaks, her humor, etc., etc. I actually find her quite funny, because I do get her humor. There's a real sarcastic side to her, which is very British as well. And it can give so-called meager energy, which is obviously another narrative that they're really pushing here. It's I don't know what you think. Listen to it. I'm hearing both sides of the story here, and I'm sure I'm going to hear what you think in the message. I don't think these things should be released, though, because it's not about people like me to talk about it. This is not about public opinion. This is not court of public opinion, and that's exactly what they're doing here.
Okay, I just heard the voicemail, and I just want to share my 2 cents on it. But first, if you're new here, hi, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I'm obsessed with all things mental health, therapy, pop culture, reality TV. If that interests you, be sure and follow this page. I also meant voice memo, not voicemail, so sorry about that mix-up. Apparently, there's a voice memo that Justin Baldoni's team just released, and it's a voice memo that he left for Blake Lively at 2 a.m. Now, to clarify, she was texting him up until 1:50 a.m., so he was responding. However, unpopular thought, I'm sure, why didn't he just wait till a couple hours later, to an appropriate time? Now, again, I understand that Hollywood time is very different than corporate time, like the 8 to 5 is definitely not the Hollywood time, especially when you're on set with somebody. But I don't think they were on set at 2 a.m., right? Maybe they were, I don't know. But that's just kind of odd to me personally. I will say his voice memo kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if it makes me sad for her. I still feel confused and conflicted for my feelings for Blake Lively. I do think she just finds herself in a really sticky situation if it's all true that what people are alleging in regards to Ryan Reynolds. And maybe she didn't feel heard at some point. And I will say he does seemingly own up to making her feel a certain way at a certain time. And he's like, I'm so sorry that I ever made you feel that way. He also does refer to the fact that they have really good chemistry and that he's so excited to do this project with her. And so I think, to me, something emotionally switched or something emotionally took place. And again, I'm not saying anything physical, but I wouldn't be surprised if emotional boundaries were crossed and there was a misunderstanding or there was confusion with that, because when we cross boundaries emotionally, especially with people who are not our significant others, it creates a lot of chaos. We often talk about or hear about physical affairs and physical boundaries that are crossed, which again, not good. But I think it's also important to note that when emotional boundaries are crossed, it can also create, sometimes even more often, create chaos and confusion. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's also just kind of what took place, is whether she fell for him or whether he accidentally or purpose, I don't know, gave some sort of like mixed signals while he was in character, out of character. But this is just honestly all so sad in my mind. And yes, I know I shouldn't care, but I do. What are your thoughts on the voice memo?